Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Jacob here, back with another video. So, as you can tell by this title, we are reacting to a creepy animation story. Guys, if this is too scary, note, please watch this with somebody. I don't know if it's gonna be creepy. It says it's a home invasion horror story, animated. Well, it's animated, guys, so what's so creepy about it? But, anyway. Oh, shoot.
I hope something creepy happens.
Something creepy happens, guys. It's over with. But before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Turn on post notifications for that way you can know whenever I upload and you can be the first to see it. So, let's get started.
It was a cold, foggy evening when I contacted a close friend of mine to stay at my place for the night.
Oh,
Both
no.
of us were only 10 years old at the time, and my parents
No,
were often
guys.
at work until midnight,
No.
so I was usually alone with nothing to do except watching a television show or reading a book. My friend
no.
Alex had agreed to come over and brought a game of Monopoly to pass some of the time. I also asked if he was interested in going to explore an abandoned subway station 3 miles away.
No.
He seemed excited at first.
Not even been in. No.
I
Yo.
remembered that the subway dated
Yep,
back
guys,
to the
it's over.
1920s.
They're dead,
The
like
end
literally.
of 1932 after the market crash in 1929. I was very fascinated.
Then it's
about its history,
haunted
but never
after
got the
like a
chance to go
crash.
inside
Oh
after
my god,
parents
guys.
had warned me not to enter.
No.
As I quietly slept in my bed, I heard what sounded like a gunshot coming from the forest behind the house. Both of us woke up, frightened after what we had heard. I told my friend not to worry, as hunters tend to go into the forest on frequent occasions, but when I checked the time, it was 11:39 p.m. This seemed very unusual, as hunters only came into the forest
It's
between
not
8
3
p.m.
a.m.,
and
so
10 p.m. I looked at Alex and decided to get out of my bed, intending to look through the window and spot for anyone in the forest. The darkness clouded my vision, so I was unable to see anyone in the forest. I turned around and looked at Alex again, when suddenly I heard the front door squeak open. Chills went down my spine. Both of us quietly moved to the bathroom, locked the door, and kept the light off. It was the only safe place in the house. Both of us were terrified as we desperately tried to keep as calm as we could. We heard footsteps getting louder and louder until they stopped in front of the bathroom door. And then this is when the most terrifying sound forced my heart to almost burst. Both of us screamed as the person chopped the door to pieces. It was pitch black inside the room, making it hard to find the vent, and by the time I spotted the vent, the person behind the door had made a hole big enough for us to see him. The man adorned black leather and was wearing a plague doctor mask.
Yo.
I scurried back to the vent, but it was too high above the floor for us to reach it, so Alex told me to go first because he was the strongest. He lifted me up on his shoulders, allowing me to open the vent and crawl inside. When I looked at the door again, the man had managed to fit his arm through the hole and reached for the lock. I quickly grabbed Alex's hand, but struggled to pull him up into the vent. "Alex!" I shouted, and began going after him. I pursued the figure until I was led to the abandoned subway deep within the forest. It was chilly and foggy, meaning that I could only see objects within a range of 5 or 6 yards.
Oh my god, guys.
Inside the subway was a pool of freezing cold water. It was so dark that I couldn't see anything.
Hi, guys.
I had to rely on listening to the screams from Alex and track the source. As I slowly walked through the subway, I was now struggling to breathe under the intense stress and fear of the situation. I called, but there was no response. I continued walking through the water until the exit was no longer visible. I was now experiencing a massive panic
Why
attack.
did it have to
I lost
happen?
track of Alex, and I had no idea where I was or how to get out. Where are you, Alex?
Like, obviously, he'd be dead, maybe. Yes, guys, he was dead.
So guys, like I told you in my 5-year-old. I am doing my first ever vlog, guys.
Oh my god.
So, as you might can tell, like, I'm opening my door.
Alright guys, looking for one more. Almost got killed by a serial killer. Okay guys, here we go. This one is almost got killed by a serial killer. I'm scared,
About 10
guys.
to 12 years ago, I was a drug addict living in Cleveland, Ohio. I usually spent my days smoking, drinking.
Okay.
I was usually up to no good. I would go with whoever had the drugs, basically. One day, my friend and I were talking with this guy, and he said he had some dope on him,
Creepy.
and he invited us to his house.
Guys,
It wasn't the first time
Guys,
I've seen
I'm
him
scared
invite
now.
women over
Now
to
I'm
his
getting
house to
scared.
smoke and do other drugs. He seemed nice,
Now
but
I'm getting
I
scared,
didn't feel
guys.
comfortable going with him, but
Guys.
I was.
No.
Then I saw another friend across the street, so I went over there to her. After that, I went home, and my friend went with him. The next day, his house was surrounded by police and news cameras. I didn't know why, but my friend ended up telling me that when they were in his house,
my video now, guys.
this guy, Anthony, punched her in the back of her head and started to choke her.
Hello?
Then she woke up in a bed.
Hello?
She said next to the bed, she saw a woman's body with no head attached.
Oh my god.
But she decided not to scream because
Okay.
he was asleep right next to her. She ended up crawling and getting out of the house. Literally running
Okay.
out of the house, barely clothed. And ended up calling the police.
Okay.
Eventually, they found 11 bodies of 11 different women in and around his
Yo,
house.
the guy's a serial killer, guys. Guys,
One of
I
them
should have
that
known.
man was a serial killer. His name was Anthony Sowell.
You sure?
I'm so glad that my other friend caught my attention right before I was going to his house.
General sausage, but we
knows?
already have that.
I could have been one of those bodies.
Guys, I'm back. The phone
Oh my
was
God.
ringing, my dad called. Guys, that's pretty sick.
Oh my god.
In my second year of college,
No, not that one, guys. Okay, guys, next shift.
It was 2 years ago. I was called in to do the night shift, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. at 7-Eleven, since somebody called out. The store was located on a busy road
Ooh,
in a rather
7-Eleven,
quiet and
guys.
rural area. During the night shift, you could expect anywhere from 10 to 20 people come in to buy a beer or something else. This one particular night, there was this one guy, mid-20s, that came in. He started making weird noises, like loud yelling noises. I assumed he had some kind of mental disability. In fact, my brother has a mental disability, so I immediately felt sympathy for the guy. He walked up to the counter without any items, with his head facing me,
I haven't
but
gotten creepy
his eyes
yet.
were looking up at the ceiling. I felt uncomfortable. I honestly didn't know how to deal with it. I tried speaking with him, but he only responded in loud noises.
Yo,
I kept
it's a
checking
freaking
if he was
zombie.
with someone outside,
Maybe.
but he was alone. There weren't any cars in the parking lot, so I assumed he
Alright, guys, I'll be
walked.
right back.
He stood
Alright,
there
guys,
for
I'm
so
back. Now
long,
all of a
looking
sudden
up
he
at the
gets
ceiling and making noises that I tried to get him out by handing him a bag of chips and telling him he can go. I tried finding some kind of number to call for someone to help him. Then, out of nowhere, he finally turned around and walked out of the store. I felt so horrible for the man, but at the same time, I felt a bit creeped out. About an hour later, the phone on the counter rang. I picked up to hear the familiar yelling sounds of the man from earlier. It caught me off guard. I didn't know what to think, other than this has to be some kind of prank. I hung up on them and was now becoming paranoid of my surroundings, constantly checking the outside through the windows. Come 4 o'clock, the person working after me came in, finally allowing for me to go home. It wasn't my problem anymore. I got home and threw all my stuff on the table, ready to get to sleep.
No, guys, no, 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 guys,
I
no.
felt a chill run down my spine. Why would someone be calling at 4 a.m.? I could only imagine it was bad news. I braced
It has
myself
to be
and
like
picked up
the
the
same guy.
phone to hear the man again. I felt sick
was
to my
right.
stomach as I listened to the loud noises he made. I struggled to slam the phone to the receiver. All night, I felt like I was being watched, even with all the blinds shut. And I could swear I heard strange noises coming from all over my house. I refused to get any sleep until the sun came up. Weeks passed and I had forgotten about the incident until one day, when going into the basement for the first time in a while, I found that papers had been scattered all over the floor. And when I went into the basement closet, I found writing on the walls. 7-Eleven had been written in Sharpie on the wall, along with the address to the 7-Eleven I worked at and my house address. The most disturbing part, I also found various kitchen knives, along with a large pocket knife sitting in the closet. What started out as seemingly just an innocent person, turning into something of a prank, ultimately turned into something much more horrifying. He had been living down there for God knows how long, and I'm just grateful that, for whatever reason, he changed his mind and left, because I haven't seen or heard from him since. All I can say is that man is dangerously ill.
Okay, guys.
Do not go out tonight. Who is this? Don't freak out, but my name's Nora.
Okay, guys, this is the last and final one. A college
It was an
horror
early
story.
morning. My campus didn't offer housing, and I lived about a half a mile from school, so I started my journey as usual while playing on my phone. I glanced up to see an old man heading towards me on a bicycle. Normally, I'd step aside to let bikers and skaters pass, but he braked instead. I stopped too, wondering if there was something wrong. He walked up to me and said,
Definitely
"Don't worry,
something wrong.
I'm not gonna hurt you." I felt chills instantly. I didn't know what to think. I just looked up at him with a fearful and confused expression. I was gathering up the courage to tell him that I was late for class and I should go, but before I could say anything, he said,
guys.
"Get off the grass!" Looking down, I noticed I'd stepped over towards the road and onto the grass. I stepped off slowly and he said, "You wouldn't want to step on any bugs or get your shoes dirty now, would you?" He raised his finger and asked me what my name was. I told him.
Like none of your business.
"Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you." The same chills ran through my body again, but before I could say anything, the man said, "Get off the grass! You wouldn't want to step on any bugs or get your shoes dirty now, would you?" I looked down to see that I was back on the edge of the sidewalk again. This had to be deja vu. He asked for my name once more. I said my name again, but he interrupted me before I could finish. He told me his grandchildren are down the road and needed gas money. I told him I didn't have any spare change, or any change at all for that matter. He continued to ask me again, and I gave him the same answer. Eventually, I headed towards my school. I turned to see if he was still there, but he was gone. As I was walking, I approached the intersection. There was a truck on its side. It must have tipped over while turning the corner. If you want to help support the channel, head on over to the brand new Llama Arts merch store. It has new stuff available, like updated t-shirt designs, a mug from the...
Guys. The true scary story about Bloody Mary. No. But if I reach 20 subscribers, then I'll do the true scary story about Bloody Mary, guys. Anyway, guys. It's Tiger Gaming 150. Thank you for joining me. Signing out.